Hi guys, I found a lot of different information about the fourth chapter of Poppy Playtime. From recently released concept art from the developers to the problems the developers are experiencing after the release of the third chapter and new characters that have been revealed through leaks. We'll also discuss recent updates to Chapter 3, gameplay changes, and more. Put a like under the video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It will help a lot to promote my channel and recommendations. Everyone already knows that recently we received a new patch for the third chapter, which was released not so long ago. And already about a month after the release of the new part, the developers have implemented quite important updates. For example, some players did not understand what to do at a certain point or could not find some item. Now this problem should not be, as they have added a whole system of trackers that will track each task. In general, made the game more understandable for new players who started playing right from the third part. For example, if during the game I did not read some monologue of the character, I could well miss an important detail, and further in the story do not understand what is happening. Now all these moments have been corrected and there are no such problems. Speaking of updates, they also changed some of the mechanics of the game itself. For example, now you can skip dialogues or those moments where you go through training. And it is impossible not to mention how the developers took care of a bunch of minor changes and errors during the game. Also, one detail that surprised me quite a lot is that they added new voiceovers for Poppy. In general, thank you to the developers for not just throwing the game after its release and make patches and the game becomes more comfortable. Recently, as many of you probably already know, a brand new game, Poppy Playtime Forever, was released, but only it was released in Roblox. To be honest, the game has shown pretty good results in terms of numbers. Some fans were very happy about this release, as this game could be played with friends online, but some users didn't really like the short campaign mode along with a huge amount of bugs. Not to mention that the game itself is pretty boring, and after a few hours of play you want to quit, which takes half the fun out of the original released game. It seems that there are a lot of disadvantages, but in fact not all that bad. In Poppy Playtime Forever on Discord server, the developers wrote that soon they plan to release some major updates to solve all these problems, and they have already officially confirmed that they will soon add new characters such as Mommy Long Legs and Kissy Missy. Of course, this is not a complete list, but I think it will be more interesting to play with these characters. Also, right after the information about the new characters, they decided to tell that the plan is to add the ability to play not only for the main character and for monsters, that in turn is quite a lot of variety in the game. The game, according to them, can diversify in new modes that have also been confirmed by the developers themselves, which will make the game more exciting. These changes honestly give some hope, because now the game definitely needs some changes. We have a lot of approved material about the Smiling Critters. Some of it is related to the upcoming Smiling Critters project. First, it looks like the creators who made the Smiling Critters have mostly put out new pictures based on the new characters, along with the originals from the VHS tapes, which we have never seen before. Fans of the show first drew some of our most unique characters, and then the artist who drew Smiling Critters and all the behind-the-scenes pictures made new copies of them. The person who made Smiling Critters is actually showing us 4 brand new character ideas that the official artist thought were important enough to show us. Basically, something that needs more care from us. He wrote in a new post, "The last few days I've seen some fun Smiling Critters AU stuff, and I wanted to draw some of them." Plus, they showed us a new, more grown-up Dog Day wearing clothes that were different from the last time we saw him in the Chapter 3 VHS tapes, along with a Kickin' Chicken from Toxic Waste version. What they said was about a different group, not the Smiling Critters, called the Smiling Psychopaths. That means it's likely that these new versions were meant to be bad in some way. The most interesting characters were also given to us. They were drawn by an official artist who showed us a happier version of the Dog Day character and a new creature that was meant to be the opposite of him in some way. They were part of a new group called the Frowning Critters. Recently just released Chapter 3, and already all the rumors are about the fourth chapter. There are already leaks of what the full version of the fourth chapter should look like. Why should we believe that this is not a fake? At least some details coincide with what some of the game developers have already written about everything themselves. For example, the amusement park that is also seen on the poster, and the moon character that is seen in the corner of the teaser. It turns out, digging into the files of the third chapter, this character is in the teaser for a reason. He plays a rather important role and is connected to one of the clues associated with the third chapter, namely with strange drawings in Home Sweet Home, which frankly do not quite coincide with what is actually in the third chapter. It seems that the sun has nothing to do with the moon in the teaser, but it's actually an Easter egg that reveals some secrets. In previous chapters of the game, the developers always placed the moon that was shown earlier in the teaser and the sun together. This connection between the moon and the sun has existed since the second chapter. And it turns out it was a warm-up, as the developers are going to add these two characters in Chapter 4 first. So there's a good chance that in the next chapter we'll see them talking. The appearance of new characters is also explained by one of the creators of Poppy Playtime, and he said that some characters from the drawings of the second chapter may appear in the new chapter. This is also confirmed by several smiling critters cutscenes that make direct reference to the moon. Even the new mystery posters are in space design, so we can probably expect to see at least 2 new characters in the next chapter. Let's hear what recent rumors and leaks from the developers of the game that were quite hard to get, but as you already understand, not for me. As you can see, who knows how to create games, it's not hard for them to find a lot of cut content, small materials, not finished layouts from smiling critters, and already finished versions of rooms from the videotape The Hour of Joy. Well, that's not all. It's not smiling critters or the new videotapes that everyone is interested in. It's the concept art of creating our favorite catnap. Strange as it may seem, it was originally going to be called Cuddle Kitty, but as you may have noticed, the design of Catnap never changed, except for the fact that it was originally like a costume for employees where you would see their faces instead of a bigger mouth. I wonder what it would look like, and most importantly, how it would change the plot of the game if Playtime Corporation actually had a survivor with the same costume. But who looks wider? Then most likely all have already noticed what additions in the form of character features we could get. There is also one that for some unknown reason was crossed out by the creators. Most likely there was something together red gas, which they decided to add already in the finished version. Here you can think in 2 ways. Either they do not want to reveal all the details, or this feature will be added in the next chapters, which makes us think that there is something like revival. Besides this concept art that passed the test, there were many others released, but unlike the previous concept art, there are no abilities or functions listed here. These concept art were all released by the same person who used to work at Mob Entertainment. And concept art is good, but we 100% know that in the next chapter there should be previously revealed monsters that we will talk about now. It is clear that after the release of the new chapter will be released new concepts as we have now for the 3rd chapter, but some developers decided to publish this information in advance. These hints can basically help us to find out what will be in the next part. And it turns out we were shown an Easter egg that confirms the new monsters for the 4th chapter. We are told that it has already been revealed that in the new part will be added a new character, namely a clown. Yes, and it is more likely all will be not just a clown and some kind of monster clown. But why him? As it turns out, the game developers have left us some clues that tell us that the clown monster would be more than a guess in the next chapter. You see, they themselves told us to look for clues in Chapter 3 to the characters in the pictures we showed you earlier in this video, because it's highly likely that one of those characters will be in the new chapter. And if we take all the different characters we know about, the clown monster would be the most rational option and would make the most sense for the next chapter. You can ask why? Because the clown concept itself fits perfectly with the already existing poster concept with a new location in the form of an amusement park. So we've already seen the concepts for the new characters, but what about the news? Within 2 weeks of Chapter 3's release, the Japanese creators who made it opened a shop to go with it. That's where you can see some art for the next part. But as I looked at all of these, I also learned that Chapter 3 will have some things that can only be found there. There was a real copy of Catnap's Get Some Rest poster, and there may have been a few folders with those smiling critters and other game posters. That's pretty cool, because on the other side, there were behind-the-scenes videos of critters riding in a car, which I thought was pretty cool. There's new art of Haggy, Hoppy, and Kicken playing soccer together, which I think is cool, even though they aren't about Chapter 3. It's not clear if this stuff will ever make it to the United States. Since they haven't put out any new stuff since Chapter 3, this could be a sneak peek at what's coming soon. These insights and leaks are all well and good, but the developers will further tease all fans of this game with new details for the next chapter. One such detail is the rumors of another new character, Daisy, but the developers themselves with the emergence of this news immediately reacted to it. In the Poppy Playtime Discord server, the game developer told us quite bluntly, "Oh, yeah, and finally Daisy being the boss can be put to rest too." At the end he laughed at what he wrote, and that tells us that they are just sick of hearing about it. The CEO also noted and also spoke out about it and made it clear that he would let Daisy die, which in turn buries all the theories about her return in the new chapters. What do you think about this news? And these were the newest and most relevant rumors and news for the past week. Let me know in the comments if you like this format. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.